He had always considered himself a lucky man. His wife, Amelia, was everything he could have wanted: beautiful, intelligent, and supportive. Their relationship had been built on trust, and they had spent years growing together. He worked as a lawyer, often putting in long hours, but he always made sure to come home to her every night, ensuring their bond remained strong. It wasn't always easy, but their love was solid, or so he thought. The first cracks appeared slowly, like small fissures in an otherwise unblemished surface. Amelia had started to change. She'd become distant, withdrawn, no longer eager to share her day with him. At first, he chalked it up to stress at work. She was a marketing executive with a demanding boss. But things started to escalate. She was coming home later and later, sometimes telling him she had to attend post-work events or meetings. Yet, when he asked about them, her stories didn't add up. Then there were the little things, the secretive phone calls, and the way she guarded her phone like it was a precious artifact. He had never been the jealous type, but his gut was telling him something wasn't right. He tried to ignore it, telling himself that he was just being paranoid. But deep down, he knew something was off. One night, when he couldn't sleep, he decided to take matters into his own hands. He followed her. It wasn't something he was proud of, but he had to know the truth. He had been blind for too long, and now his instincts screamed at him to act. What he discovered destroyed him. She wasn't at a meeting. She wasn't at work. Amelia was in the arms of another man, a man he had never seen before, laughing and talking intimately. They entered a restaurant, and through the window he could see them sharing a private moment that should have been reserved for him. His heart sank, a bitter taste of betrayal spreading through his chest. The world around him felt like it was spinning, but his mind was focused on the painful reality of what he had just witnessed. The next day, he confronted her. His voice trembled with a mixture of anger and heartbreak, but he needed answers. She initially tried to deny it, but the evidence was undeniable. "I don't know why you're making a big deal out of this," she said coldly. "You're always working. I need someone who's present, who listens, who cares about me." The words cut deeper than any physical blow could have. She was blaming him for her infidelity. She said he was the one who drove her to seek comfort in another man, as if her actions were justified. But it wasn't just her betrayal that stung. It was the way she dismissed him. There was no remorse, no regret, just a sense of entitlement that left him feeling hollow. "I won't let you ruin me," she threatened as the argument grew heated. "If you tell anyone, if you try to take this to court, I'll destroy you. I know people, and I'll make sure no one believes you. I'll make your life hell." Her words hung in the air like a curse. He had never imagined she would go this far. It was no longer just about the affair. It was about her trying to manipulate and control the situation, to make him feel small and powerless. But deep down, he knew he couldn't let her get away with it. He couldn't let her ruin his life, especially after what she had done. In the weeks that followed, he struggled with the decision of how to handle the situation. Should he stay silent as she demanded? Should he let her get away with everything? But no, he had worked too hard for everything he had. He wasn't going to let her destroy him, and he wasn't going to let her get away with her lies. So, he started gathering evidence. Every phone call, every message, every moment of deceit was carefully documented. He hired a private investigator, someone he could trust, to follow her and confirm what he already knew. Finally, when the time was right, he filed for divorce. But Amelia wasn't going to let it go easily. She had always been the one with the manipulative edge, and she thought she could outsmart him. She filed a counterclaim, accusing him of all sorts of things: abuse, neglect, even fraud. She tried to twist the story, painting herself as the victim and him as the villain. She thought her threats would hold weight, that her power and influence would control the narrative. What she didn't realize was that he had already prepared for this moment. He had all the proof he needed: text messages, emails, recorded phone calls, even photos. When the case went to court, he presented everything. The truth was out there, and the judge could see it clearly. The lies she had woven to destroy his reputation crumbled under the weight of his evidence. Amelia, the woman he had loved, the one he had trusted with his life, was exposed for what she truly was: a deceitful, manipulative person who had taken everything for granted. She lost the case, and it was far worse than she could have imagined. Not only did she lose the divorce, but she also lost the respect of everyone around her. The affair she had kept hidden was laid bare for the world to see, and the lies she had spread came back to haunt her in the most painful way. Karma had served its justice. It wasn't just the divorce or the betrayal that hurt. It was the realization that she thought she could control everything, that she could manipulate him into submission. But the truth always has a way of coming out, and in the end, it was her actions that led to her downfall. For him, the road to recovery wasn't easy, but the weight of the betrayal had been lifted. He had been through hell, but he had come out stronger, wiser, and with a renewed sense of self-respect. As for Amelia, she learned the hard way that lies may give you temporary victories, but they can never protect you from the consequences of your actions.